My topic today is going to be over Ursula Burns. The company that we'll be focused on is Xerox. Xerox was a great company. It had a focus on printing paper. And you know what? It made its first printer and it was very successful. The company thought they could do more things. Well, they did try to do more things and they maybe were not very successful at it, but they tried to do more things. They were more just a paper and print place. They started to open up to other things, other organizations. They also help with a Word document. A leader is Ursula Burns, who was the CEO, one of the CEOs at Xerox. Her leadership style was very different. She was very controlling and she really spoke her mind. And some people didn't know how to handle that, but that was just how she was raised. I chose Ursula Burns because I wanted to talk about somebody different. I want to talk about someone that was willing to make a difference. Ursula Burns, she wasn't rich. She grew up in New York City on the East Side, and she had to work for everything. Her mother had to work for everything. And she even said, one of my favorite things is math because the teacher couldn't take that from her. She grew up and she went to college. She worked on a bachelor's and then she also went on to get her master's. I love that she knew that she needed help. She took advantage of an opportunity to learn from another company, Xerox, which paid part of her tuition. And I was thinking, if I had an opportunity to be somewhere that would help to pay for some of my schooling, I would take advantage of the opportunity. I love that her determination and her focus on school and another job. I like that a lot. Her determination to see things through to the very end. While she was working at Xerox, when she came on full time after a couple years, she constantly kept getting promoted and moving up in the corporation. Finally, she got an opportunity to be the second woman as a CEO. That's very impressive. And not just that she was an African American. And she is going to be taking over from another woman that was a CEO. Two big milestones. Hannah Burns didn't take that lightly. When she came into the CEO position, she had a tough decisions to make. But the amazing thing is that she was able to work with the CEO prior, and she was able to see things, how she talked to people, how she tried to interact with everyone. And she took those skills, but she still had to be herself. She couldn't be as the predecessor. She had to be herself. Do I relate to Ursula Burns? Well, I'm gonna say yes and no. In the beginning, Ursula Burns was very outspoken and demanding. She didn't really took a lot of opinions. She really had a one set mind. And I'm not like that. I'm not that at all. But as Ursula Burns stayed in that position and grew, her leadership style changed. She surely to be more patient, listening, trusting her team, open-minded, trust her team to do what they need to do. That is more of my leadership style. I love that she changed over a period of time, which shows that no one's perfect, but we can all learn something. Next, if we focus on which traits do I admire about my CEO? And what traits are ineffective. You I feel like ineffective is maybe trying to be outspoken. As a leader, you have to be able to listen to others, and I feel like that's a skill that she slowly had to learn. And that skill. She also had to realize that she was really young in her position as a CEO, and many people didn't like that. But Ursula Burns, she learned to not care about that, whether that she was young for this position. She showed people that she is very capable and very experienced in her job. And I love that about her because leaders have to be able to show people that I am capable of doing this position. Even though I may be young, I can do this job and do it well. I love that about that. I love that Ursula Burns learned to trust her team. I feel like some leaders sometimes they don't want to trust their team. They feel like they have to have full control over it. She trusted her team to give them an idea and let them run with it. And they'll come back with something better than what she thought of. And I think that's amazing. If I had the opportunity, would I want to meet Ursula Burns? If would I want to approach her? Well, I would want to meet Ursula Burns. I want to meet her for different reasons, but one of them is that how did she handle the corporation when it was going through a struggle? How was she able to keep her cool? I would love to know. That's something I would want to know. I love that Ursula Burns changed. She slowly changed into a different mindset, not about this, more about listening and being patient and learning how to interact with people. I think that's awesome. And just maybe learn something about how do you stay encouraged even when things aren't going your way, even when you're trying to save money for a company, even though it may not benefit it at all, or trying new experiences may not do anything, but it might just pay the bills. I would love to have opportunity to meet her and talk to her and understand how does she see things. I really enjoyed learning about Ursula Burns. In her life and in her experiences, I feel like I learned and got closer to her. All slides are by Google Docs. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation.